how to heal the pattern of rejection for business outreach success. If you're a business owner, you know the more offers you make, the more people you get in front of, obviously, the more the business is going to grow, the more financially you're going to grow as well. But what most people do is they're scared of the no. They're scared of being rejected. So they generally stick to activities that they can succeed at that lead them to safety. But what if I was to tell you that the rejection, the person saying no, isn't the real reason why you're scared, isn't the real fear. In fact, that circumstance is just triggering a deeper wound within you. But once that wound is healed, imagine being able to go out there with confidence, with certainty, with clarity in front of people, so you can create collaborations, you can sell, and you can do it from a place of wholeness. Well, in this episode, what we're going to learn is 1, what rejection really is, why people really fear rejection. 2, how to heal this core wound that's within us. 3, what that'll mean for your business strategy, how to choose the right implementation for your business. And 4, how to stick to what matters most, what moves the needle most in your business. Let's dive in. Okay, we are live. So one thing that I'd love to do more often is these sort of calls, these sort of things where a lot of challenges in business get presented. And the reason being, whether it's internal, external, a bit of both, I think when the common themes in business come up, it really helps everyone. It really benefits everyone by just hearing a story, hearing an example, hearing how someone reflects on something in particular, whether they reframe something, whether they pivot something in their business. There's always that little piece in your mind, in the back of your mind, that says, oh, what if I did that? Or what if that was applying to me? Or what if instead of doing that, I did a variation of myself? So everyone listening, if you have a shift you want to make in your business, or there's a little tweak that can help you get better results, not only in terms of reach, of income, but also in terms of having a consistent client base and something in a real client base that you want to serve and you fall in love with serving, no doubt something here can really help. So Denise, do you want to just go through quickly what it is you do, so that everyone who's listening can know what it is you do specifically, and then what's the specific challenge that you're facing at the moment?
So I run a program to train, mentor, and license individuals to become muscle tuner specialists. Essentially, that's like becoming an electrician for the body and checking muscles from head to foot to notice which ones aren't operating optimally, and literally knowing where the circuit breakers are to release the excessive pressure behind certain areas, or to open that up so the flow of energy goes through, because trapped energy is pain in my world. So I train people how to do that. And the challenge is about finding those people who want to add another dimension to their training already, because they have clients who are stuck, they're resistant to other therapies, or they are not holding durable results. That's our claim to fame, is to help with that. And there's a lot of noise out there right now, and I don't know how else to say. We definitely have one foot in the science field, because a lot of the scientific type trained like therapists are going, well, that's weird woo-woo energy stuff. And the energy workers, I want them to know that they can extend what they do and show and demonstrate people how their energy work is making instant changes to develop client loyalty and to really get that connection really built there between the therapist and the client, but also the client and their body. So that wasn't short, but that's what I'm about.
No, it's definitely short. So I know a lot of people can resonate with this, because whenever we're putting out an offer, whether it be to help someone emotionally, someone physically, someone with a business, whatever, if you have a particular product, any particular product or service, there's always that question of who's going to want this, and how do I market it so people will want to buy it, right? And so my initial question to you, when we're working through things like this, there's really some core foundations, and a lot of people might go straight to a tactic. They might go straight to, how do I market this? How do I position this? How do I put this out there in a way where people will know about it and people will buy it? And so what I realized after coaching a lot of people and everyone who's going through my program as well, is that when you go to a particular tactic, it can be very, very hit and miss if other things aren't in place. So for example, Denise, let me ask you, when you're thinking about this challenge and thinking about this problem and having that sticking point of saying, like, people don't really want it, and when I'm marketing it to these professionals, they're saying that's too woo-woo, what's the emotion that you feel in your body? What's the primary emotion when you're tackling this challenge?
I've been powering through, but when you ask it that way, I haven't really recognized it's probably rejection.
Totally. Great. So I'm sure you can feel what it feels like in your body, because we all know what it feels like to feel rejected, hey?
Sure.
We all know what that energy feels like. It hits the core foundation of our fears. Our fears are like a highway that all lead to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. If we work with anyone's fear, I can ask, why do you fear that? Okay, why are you scared of that? Okay, what are you avoiding here? Okay, and at some point, at one particular time, it'll always lead back to the fear of not being enough, because if I'm not enough, I won't be loved. Because to the unconscious mind, if I'm not loved, I won't survive. That's the core pattern we have as a child. If we're not loved as a child, we can't survive. There's no 1-year-old out in the forest who's surviving by themselves. That's just not happening, right? So love is our survival advantage. And so these are the primary core fears that are coming into our business. When we go to market ourselves, we're saying, oh my God, my heart's calling me towards this message, this work, this product, this service, and I want to get it out there in a way that is aligned with me. Then I come up with this fear of rejection. What if they don't like it? What if it doesn't help anyone? What if I don't make money doing this? And all these triggers fear this very foundation core wound within us that says, if I'm not successful, if I'm not acknowledged here, if I'm not seen, then I won't be enough. Therefore, I won't be loved. Now, with that energy, with that vibration comes with it a very particular level of resourcefulness. With the vibration of not wanting to be rejected, how resourceful are you going to be? By resourceful, I mean, how many resources, internal resources, are you calling upon in terms of your love, determination, patience, passion, joy, creativity, playfulness, humor? What are you calling upon there? What are you strengthening while you're feeling the vibration of, I don't want to be rejected? What comes up for you, Denise?
Well, after I said rejected and you started going down that track, I went, that wasn't quite right. But then you loop back around to it and it's unseen, which eventually, it's all the same basket.
Totally.
Feeling unseen. And so I've been spending time doing the heart math thing, breathing into the heart. And it's been I'm quite sensitive, and it's really interesting when I say, okay, now let's let that vibration from my heart go out in the world. When I really just say, let it go out in the world, that's an easy thing. But when I say, okay, let it reach a foot out of me, let it go to the wall in this room, let it go past that wall, and then halfway through the next room, everything shuts down. So it's like my vibration is only going a room and a half out of here. It's not going out into the world. Okay. So I've tried to do the heart math, the vibration thing, I do put myself in positive state. I know I have a lot of training to release. I don't have mental, emotional stress, but every once in a while, it's like, how are we going to pay the bills at the end of the month?
Yeah, totally.
So there's a little of that worry going on, and I know that worry is not productive. And the coaching I mentioned in the serving circle has really changed my playfulness in all the meetings I've had in the last 2 weeks. I am much more calm, relaxed, playful, and really owning up and saying, yeah, I'm going for a trademark and going after fitness trainers and therapists and all this. But in the meantime, I have to own up to the fact that, once you take the program, you're going to start working with Eastern theory of meridians. I don't go way out there with the Indian theory of chakras and stuff, but I'm familiar with that. And so I draw on those resources of keeping my own energy centers balanced, if that makes sense.
Great. Awesome. And so one question that comes up for me, and obviously a lot of you guys know who work with energy, who work with inner healing, we're on this path where our inner healing is just layers upon layers, right? It's nonstop. It's just like uncovering layers upon layers upon layers, different sides of us coming up that need to be healed, different sides of us that are now ready to be seen, different internal 5-year-olds with our wounds that were unconscious that are now becoming conscious. And so I want to acknowledge you, Denise, for going on that path and going on that journey of inner healing, and recognizing that although we're healing internally, we're doing a lot of meditation. Trust me, I meditate 2 hours a day. I just sit there in silence and do this work. And yet the last few days, so much worry has come up, so much doubt, so many fears. And what I love recognizing is that was in me, that was already in me. And it's now coming up because it's now ready to be seen. So at some level, because I meditate, I open up a loving, safe space for the inner 5-year-olds, the inner 5-year-old wounds to now come to my conscious awareness that are now ready to be completely seen, completely heard, completely loved unconditionally, so that they can now transcend. They can now move on. They can now move on in their own time. It's not my job to do it. It's not my job to move it on, but it's my job to just sit there and surrender and accept and love and let it move on in its own time. Once I learn the lessons I'm here to learn from it. So a lot of people like you, Denise, as well, will say, I don't have a lot of stress, but I just need to pay the bills, right? Which is the external trigger is leading to something that's in here. So one question I ask myself every single day, one question I remind my clients of time and time and time again, and I'll ask you, Denise, is what is your deepest fear? The deepest fear. And another way to put that is, what does your ego not want to have happen? What does your mind not want to have happen? Is it be alone? Is it go broke? Is it never make this work? Is it get out there and get rejected by 100 people? Is it put a piece of content out there and people say they hate it? What's your trigger? What does your mind not want to have happen in this situation?
Wow, really deep therapy. I'm going to be recorded saying here, my biggest fear is not being loved.
Yeah, totally. And how does that manifest in your business? What external thing needs to happen for you to feel unloved?
In my business, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and the people that hang out with me, it's great. And I'm fine. I don't want to work with people who really think I'm a weirdo, and I'm not. But I don't need to be spending time with them. It's really about having a deep love relationship at home with my husband, with my kids, with my family of birth, my family of origin. There's really been a disconnect because of trauma when I was young. So that is following me through, and it is part of me. So I am willing to recognize how that vibration can get into my business as well.
Totally.
It's not very pretty to say, please come hang out with me because I need to be loved. I mean, that's really not the vibration I want to put out there.
And that's the vibration a lot of people are putting out in business. when we reach out to people in networking, when we're doing things with our posts, when we're doing things with our videos, when we're sending out emails, the vibration people feel. A lot of people in the serving circle, I say, what's the biggest takeaway? What's the biggest lesson? What's the biggest value here? They say the energy. People feel the vibration, especially now we're heightening our level of consciousness on the planet. People feel that vibration. So when you're coming with the vibration of, please buy my stuff, please read my post, please watch my video, and it's coming from the energy, sometimes unconscious, but the energy is still there, of, I need you to watch this so that I'm seen. I need you to buy this so that I feel like I'm loved. I need you to buy this so I can create the income that will make me feel safe. And a lot of people can't recognize it within themselves. They just say, yeah, of course, I'll make money and then I'll feel more safe because that's what my internal 5-year-old says needs to happen. But that energy is still there and people feel it. People feel that vibration. And when they feel that vibration, they just feel, I don't care if the tactic, the message is spot on. There's just something that's not resonating here. That's why right now we're not starting with the tactic, right? If I'll say, hey, here's a referral system that you can do. Here's a post you can do that'll maximize the engagement. Here's a way to start this group where you can have 20, 50, 100, 1,000 people in it. If it's coming from the energy of, I need to be seen, I need to be loved, I need to be enough for that to happen, or I need that to happen for me to feel that way, then the tactic's never going to work. And it will never work long term. And nor do you want it to, because most people are trying to have a successful tactic to avoid themselves, to avoid their inner 5-year-old that says, I'm not enough, I'm not loved, I'm not seen. What we do right now is, putting all tactics aside, is be there for that side of you who's ready to be seen, who's ready to be healed, so that when you do apply this strategy, it's coming from a place of wholeness. It's coming from a place of, I love all sides of me. I feel just as loved, just as safe, just as enough, no matter what happens externally. Therefore, people can feel that vibration. You can come from a place of service, a place of contribution, a place of growth, a place of deep levels of love, so that you can truly be that space for someone. You can truly be of contribution. So one thing that we can do right now is, Denise and everyone watching, everyone that's listening, if you were to just take a breath right now, and just get present, just get centered. And for a moment, I just want you to recognize what you're feeling, the vibrations in your body. And for a moment, give yourself permission to feel unloved. Notice what that feels like in your body. What does it feel like to be unloved? What does it feel like to be unseen? What does it feel like to not be heard? What does it feel like in your body? And welcome that in. And as you do that, as you continue to breathe, continue to be present with it, continue to welcome in this energy of just being unseen, give yourself permission to feel unloved. One thing I'll remind everyone of is that your soul is here to expand, and your soul is here to expand through experience. And as it expands through experience, it does so through these emotions. It's your job here as your soul's journey to joyfully expand and also release baggage. It's what my spiritual teachers teach me, is that your soul's always doing those two things in order to expand. It's joyfully expanding and releasing baggage. In order to do that, we need to have a variety of experiences. We need to follow our heart fully, have a variety of experiences, so the healing and so the wounds within us can be seen, can be felt, can be loved unconditionally, and then that side of us can be integrated. That side of us can be integrated. Another way of putting this If something out there needs to happen for you to be seen, you're not really being seen because you're avoiding you. You're avoiding the side of you that needs to be seen, the side of you that needs to be loved, the side of you that can be okay with being lonely. So I welcome anyone who's willing to do this, to just breathe and to just welcome in your body the feeling, the vibration, the energy of being unloved, of not being seen. And while you breathe, just hold a loving, safe space for it. Hold a loving, safe space. Allow it to be there. Surrender to whatever you're feeling. So for you, Denise, where do you feel this in your body? Do you feel it in your head, your shoulders, chest, stomach? Where does the feeling of not being loved reside? Is your heart?
Right below my throat.
Below your throat. Okay, great. Now, just for a moment, I want you to just exaggerate the feeling a little bit. Just exaggerate the sensations, the vibrations, whatever you feel in your throat. Just allow and welcome it all in. And just describe to me in detail, what does it feel like? Does it feel empty, heavy? Does it feel jagged? Does it feel hot? What does it feel like specifically?
It's feeling really heavy and like it's choking me.
Great. So welcome in the heaviness and allow it to be heavy. Feel the heaviness and don't need to fix it. You don't need to change it. It's just your job to just feel it fully. And then while you do that, I'll remind you that if you can describe it to me, it means that you're not this emotion. You're not this vibration. In fact, it's coming up because it's ready to move on. It's ready to move on. It's ready to be seen. If you were the emotion, you wouldn't be able to describe it to me, right? Like a fish can't describe water. It's like, what's water? But if you can describe it to me, you're also the one that's observing it. Does that make sense?
It definitely shifts the perspective on it.
Yeah. So I want you to notice it and notice how you're not the emotion, but you're the space. You're the space that's observing it. And you're the space that's holding it. So I want you to just breathe for a moment, allow it to be heavy, welcome it all in. And while you're doing that, I'll also explain that it's coming up. This is a side of you that's coming up, that's been in you for a very long time. And it's controlled a lot of your decisions and actions, especially when it comes to following your heart's calling and growing a business. But at some level, you've done a beautiful job of opening up a loving, safe space for this internal 5-year-old to come to your conscious awareness because it's ready to be seen. It's ready to be released. So I want you to just imagine a 5-year-old sitting on your lap, your inner 5-year-old who has this belief, who has a pattern that says, I need this to happen to feel enough. I need this to happen to feel safe. I need to be this way for me to be loved. And recognize that that 5-year-old learned these patterns with a very, very positive intent. That 5-year-old was just doing whatever they could at the time to be loved by those who were the very survival. They just needed to fit in. They just needed to be safe. They just needed to feel like I need to control my life and do this. And if I'm not rejected, and if I'm not criticized, or I'm not pushed aside, then I can feel seen, I can feel loved. That 5-year-old now coming up to your conscious awareness, not to be resisted, not to be avoided, not to be reacted to. A lot of people reacting and building their business from that place, trying to be seen, but to truly just be felt, to truly to be loved unconditionally. So when you feel this fully, what you're actually doing when you feel this fully and you hold a loving, safe space for it, is you're becoming the parent that 5-year-old wished they had. You're becoming the 5-year-old's parent with unconditional love, the unconditional love that they've wanted their whole life. So when you feel this fully, when you feel this in your throat, when you feel it in your chest or wherever you feel it, and you welcome it in and you just hold the space for it, not only are you welcoming in that emotion, but also notice the love that's there for it. Notice the safety that's around it. because you're the space that holds all of it. Right now, you're holding the love, you're holding the safety, you're holding the space, you're holding the feeling of not being loved, the feeling of not being seen. Can you notice how you're the energy that's just holding all of it? So just continue to breathe with that for a moment. And just for a moment or so, just send that 5-year-old some love. Allow them to feel whatever they feel. Allow them to believe whatever they believe, think whatever they think. And just send that 5-year-old love. And just continue to breathe. So while you breathe, what are you noticing? What's changed? What's shifted? What's coming up? What else is coming up? Do you have any judgments coming up about this? Do you have any resistance coming up? Is it starting to shift or transform? What's coming up for you at the moment?
I've just gone to a really neutral place where I'm just kind of floating.
Great. And I want you to notice how quick that was. So continue to feel fully, continue to hold the space, continue to feel the love and the safety and whatever emotions come up. Often people have judgments come up around, why am I still dealing with this? How long is this going to last? All these things might come up. Hold space for that. There is nothing you can't hold space for. But while you do that, I want you to also notice this has been a very, very deep pattern, a very, very deep wound that you were able to shift from this heaviness in your throat, just below your throat. It's now starting to shift. It's starting to move. It's starting to transcend. It's starting to move on. Not because you're doing anything with it. You're just feeling fully, and life will do life. Life will just allow it to happen. Whatever needs to happen, and you're able to shift that to neutral in a matter of moments. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful we are, especially in this heightened level of consciousness we find ourselves in. We can shift what used to take lifetimes. We can shift in a matter of moments by just feeling and just by loving, just by accepting, surrendering. That's the gift we have right now. So what else is coming up? What are you feeling in your body? What's emerging? What's shifting? Describe it to us.
I'm actually finally hearing words of affirmation.
What are they? Take your time.
I'm recalling an event when I was under 5, maybe 5 or 6. And I was literally hiding on paint cans in a broom closet, wanting to be part of, spend time with my mom as she was visiting with somebody. And I was hearing good girls are seen, not heard, and the whole thing. So it was quite funny that after dinner, I just quietly was pretending to be a spy, and I went to the cupboard, opened the door, and I went in and closed the door. Like a queer little kid. And I sat there, and I was just sitting there very quietly, and I totally have forgotten. I felt like they're not telling me to come out and join them. They're just ignoring me. And what was beautiful is I actually heard my mother saying some very nice things about me. That I never heard or received before. What a beautiful gift for spending a few minutes with you.
Why do you think that memory is coming up right now? It doesn't seem like that memory's come up very often. Why do you think it's coming up now?
The theme of I am enough came up in another event I was at, and I literally wrote it on my mirror. And I look at it every once in a while, but that was an experience that I remembered with around being I am not enough. And I think it's coming up now because it's ready. I'm ready to say I am.
Yeah. Totally.
I needed the little support. I needed the loving words from my mom. And I know you're supposed to be all self-contained and all that. Man, having somebody in your corner is kind of nice.
Mm. I also want you to notice as well, although the words are coming from your mum, it's also coming from you.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're coming from a unity consciousness. There's nothing separating your mum from you. Right? There's nothing separating you. Everything that exists out there exists in here. And I want you to notice that that's a side of you. Your mum is also a side of you. So when you have this memory, the energy that exists with your mum saying nice things about you is the energy that exists in you. So one thing you can also do, send that energy to the side of you that feels unloved, right? The side of you that feels unloved, the side of you that feels unseen, and feel that energy, feel that love and that safety for that side of you, regardless of what they believe, regardless of what they feel. So that when you feel this wave of not enough, you can feel it fully and hold a loving, safe space for the side of you that believes this needs to happen for me to feel enough. This needs to happen for me to feel seen. Is why it's so powerful to go into your deepest fear and ask yourself, what does my mind know and have happen? Because it's the highway into the side of you that needs to be seen. Right now, you're seeing yourself fully. Right now, you're holding yourself for the love that your mum also showed for you when she was saying those nice things. Can you feel that?
I definitely feel it. And now I have, the next thought is, how many other messages have I not heard in my life? Loving messages that were there, but I never heard them.
Yeah. And what's the emotion that comes up about that? Do you feel guilt about it? Do you feel shame? Do you feel like there's opportunity? What is there judgment there?
No, I just feel curious.
Great. Awesome. Now, here's why it's so important. What are you feeling now when you have love for all sides of you? When you're having love for all sides of you in terms of the sides of you that can go broke, the sides of you that can look silly, the sides of you that can be unseen, the sides of you that can be rejected. When you love all those sides of you and you hold a loving, safe space for everything, what are you feeling? What's coming up? What primary emotions are you feeling right now?
I get the symbolism of one of those octagonal dice. Is that what they use in, it's not backgammon. There's a game that has a dice with many faces on it. And it's literally just wait, because it roll, then a different face will come up. So if one face is like a painful place to be, it's not going to be there because there's other facets.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Can you feel the wholeness in that?
There is an interesting, cohesiveness is not the right word, but a sense of gathering.
Cool. Beautiful. Now notice the depth here. Notice the depth of love. Notice the depth of compassion for yourself. And notice that if you love all sides of you, even the sides of you that can be rejected, what's going to be your vibration you bring into your business when you put out this offer to professionals? If you love the side of you that can be rejected, what's the vibration and the shift that you're going to send to them when you're giving them this offer?
It's gone to be on, that's okay if this isn't for you, to I love you and let me get off the phone and talk to somebody else.
Yeah, cool, great. Because what'll be happening is you'll be loving the sides of you that could be rejected. Therefore, like when you love all sides of you unconsciously, you start loving all sides of them unconsciously. You'll find yourself triggered less, you'll judge less, right? You'll share this deep level of compassion. That's why you went to love. That's why even if they're not the right fit, you still send them love. And it's not this theoretical, okay, I'll send you love, go away. It's like deeply, it's like, I love you. I love you for being on this call. I love you in sharing your honesty. I love you because you are part of me. We are all connected, right? So let me ask you this question in terms of your offer, in terms of getting out there in a new way, in terms of spreading this message, what's coming through in terms of ideas, insights? What feels most in your expansion?
I'm starting to get little glimmers of collaboration with others to share to share what I do. For example, I met somebody that's really on the emotional side, somebody that's really on the mental side, I'm going, perfect. Now you need somebody on the physical side to make that triad. So
we have Tony here.
I see the possibility of saying, I understand and I live in a lot of your worlds, and what I'm projecting and really focusing on and targeting, according to all the coaches, is focus on this one thing. But I can focus on that one thing and belong with other people who do those other parts or are really focusing on those other parts.
Great.
And together we can support each other. Awesome.
Because here's the other foundation. So your foundation is your vibration. That's what's going to channel everything else. What matters once you have your vibration in terms of the resourcefulness you can share, the amount of love, curiosity, playfulness, joy, whatever, playfulness and all those different things that you can inject. You can do that into some pieces that really matter most in terms of your messaging. So how you communicate this, your offer, creating something that's an irresistible offer for them. That's no risk, but very, very high reward. And then over-delivering, completely over-delivering for your clients and falling in love with serving your clients. Completely over-delivering. How you do those three pieces, the insights you get for those three pieces are going to come from your market research. It's going to come out to reaching to these professionals and understanding them at a completely new level, understanding them better than they know themselves, and understanding what is it they want, right? What is it that really matters to them? Instead of trying to sell them on the vehicle, so instead of trying to sell them on this particular modality of energy healing, if you truly have this service and this skill set that gets results for people, you can go to professionals and say, what is it that matters most to you? And they say, oh, it's for my clients to get from here to here, or it's whatever. It's for me to reach these sort of people. Whatever you ask them, and whatever answer you get, whatever matters most to them, you say, great. You create an irresistible offer for them. Right? Who in your network, who in your audience isn't healing the way you think they should, or might be open to something new, send them to me, completely complimentary for free. You can do them a service and do them you can do them a favor by having a free session here. And as long as I get results for them, as long as I get them from A to B, and they have a complete shift, then we might be able to have a conversation about how we could work together, right? Or you could start with those 5 people that you've created those shifts for. You get those case studies, those testimonials, and then you ask you ask that professional, do you know any other professionals who would love to have this as a service for them? Whatever it may be. This is off on the fly, but you just create an irresistible offer backed upon your research of asking them what it is they really do want, and then creating something for them that's very, very low risk, very high reward, that's value-based, that's results-based, so they can see what you can do, and then it grows from there. And then whoever you come across with, you just focus most of your energy towards falling in love with your clients, falling in love and serving at higher levels and meeting their needs in ways that aren't being met by other people. And then what will happen is you'll create a raving fan base where they just love you, they love your work, but it will come from your vibration first of all. But what's coming through from you in terms of ideas or insights or things that feel expansive for you?
Well, I think having a shift in energy will come through in anything I write or present or speak on the phone, which I think is implicit. There's days where I've been praised by my coach going, why aren't there enough calls this week type of thing? Like, what's going on? And I'm going, not in the right mindset. And he says, great. That's the best call, is not to make the call if you're like, he's a business sales coach. He doesn't really get energy the way you and I might get energy, but he understands about being in the right mindset to project positivity on a call. So I'm good for that. The expansiveness there, the possibility is there. And in the meantime, the fact is my target market right now, they're getting jerked around and the goalposts keep changing from week to week, whether they can work or if they're shut down. And if they can't work, then they don't have money. Some of them need credits for a course. And so they'll just take something, the cheapest thing they can to fulfill their credits, not necessarily the thing that is the right tool to add to their box, because they have limitations. But I truly believe the world of vibration. If you have the right vibration, the right people will show up. The people with the time, the people with the money. And I will be getting referrals. That's where I literally did a presentation this morning and somebody says, I'm telling my therapist to contact you. And it's like, yes, the message finally is coming through. And right. So with this work that you're helping me with today, I'm looking forward to even more and more and more of the bluebird of happiness actually showing up at my door. And I will serve, I will over deliver. I just need help with the messaging. And I think all the basic things you said to do this, and that, that's all in place. Like, I agree. It's the energy shift inside me that is the key that's going to power everything up.
You got it. You got it. That's the vibration. And that's what will allow so many more insights, resourceful ideas, right? Just downloads of, oh my God, what if I just did this? And then you follow that excitement, even if your mind doesn't know why. That'll come through when you're opening this space. When you're starting to heal within, your world will shift, right? A lot of people are trying to shift their world so they feel better in here, and they're trying to react to their business rather than realizing when things shift in here, when things shift internally, your world will shift as a byproduct. It can't not. Your relationship with yourself changes, therefore your relationship with the world changes, and everything starts becoming an opportunity, starts becoming fun, starts becoming playful, starts becoming areas of growth rather than challenges that are in your way. Right? So you're being called to more right now. You're being called to expand. You're being called to grow internally and develop these levels and these muscles of resourcefulness. And that's what you can do. With your market research, your messaging piece will start to come together, really will, in terms of their own language, really what it is they want, really the types of problems they're facing. Like I said, they have some external problems right now in terms of, their goalposts are changing, they're shifting in and out of being open, not being open, all those different things. So they've definitely got external challenges there. But as Donald Miller also says, there's also some internal and philosophical problems. There's also internal problems in terms of how that represents for them. And there's philosophical problems of why shouldn't they have this problem, right? Why is it an injustice, or why shouldn't they be having these challenges? And putting those pieces into your messaging, into your marketing, really help describe what the problems they're facing and how you have the solution for them. So always ask yourself, how can I get more clear? How can the message be more clear, more compelling, and call them to action? More clear, more compelling, calling them to action. If you can have a message that's always evolving, closer and closer to those characteristics, and then testing and tweaking as you put it out there, then you'll start to really find your languaging that resonates with them. Let me ask you, how are you feeling now?
I feel calm, and I feel inside a little bit like the Grinch. I feel like something inside is a little bit bigger.
Great. Perfect.
And I feel like my feet are more planted here on the earth, in this like, not necessarily this physical space, more like I deserve to be here. I belong here. That's where I'm feeling right now.
Congrats. Like I said, what I've learned from doing this work is that when you open up a safe space, more will come. More will come because you've opened up a safe space, so more is ready to be seen, more is ready to be released. That's why when I wake up and I have anxiety, I recognize there's the opportunity there. It really is the opportunity. So awesome. I love the shift. I love the energy, and I love the openness to welcome it all. And you'll notice you'll notice the vibration in your energy make the shifts in your business as well. But what's some next steps? What's the next steps you think that's most expansive for you because of this shift that you're feeling at the moment?
I think the next step is to go for a walk with myself and get reacquainted with myself.
Cool.
My energy. And I would like now to dedicate and carve the time out religiously to work with your program, because a little bit of what you were talking about was like, yeah, that sounds familiar. And I think because I'd done a little bit of the work before this conversation, I was more comfortable to go to those places and allow the process to happen. So the next, I know I want to finish your program because it's something different than anything else out there. And I think I want to go back through the beginning pieces, maybe with this new me, because I do have a new perspective.
Great. Love it.
Yeah, and I have another little book. It's another really small but dense book, and I'm 2/3 of the way through, and I just stopped, and I know there's something there, and I think I needed this shift to keep going with it. And then I think I'll be unstoppable with the support of the group. Thank you for being there, holding the space for me, people, and allowing me to feel safe and able to share.
Pleasure. Before we finish up, with everyone who might be watching this recording and listening on the podcast, let them know where they can find out more about you, and let them know where they can support your journey.
Beautiful. Well, I can be found at my website, which is muscletuners.fit. That's muscletuners.fit, the first three letters in fitness. It is a different extension for sure. And I'm on the West Coast, Vancouver. My email is denise@muscletuners.fit.
Beautiful. Amazing. It'll be absolute pleasure to reach out to you and see what you have to offer, and then obviously create maybe a referral base. If you know any professionals who are looking to extend their skill set and help their clients in new ways, especially in terms of energy, muscletuners.fit. Let's make it happen. Awesome. Anything else you want to finish on, Denise, to help create this shift, or any other questions you might have? What's coming up for you?
Well, I just have to put a big bow on the whole thing and send love and gratitude to you for facilitating this experience. So thanks.
My pleasure.
Thanks is not enough.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for being open and honest and vulnerable. And I'm glad we can help. So if you want to send me a message after this, let me know how your walk goes. Let me know if anything else comes up. Happy to help. Happy to see you in the serving circle and doing what you can. It's been awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for being here. And thank you guys for joining. Thank you for supporting. Have an awesome rest of your week, okay? Take care, guys.